Hey, Trevor Matthews here from Refrigeration Mentor, and I'm at the Natural Refrigerant Training event here in Pittsburgh with Danielle Wright, the Executive Director of the NSARC.org organization. They're a nonprofit organization that is helping change the industry landscape for training and education and really helping end users, OEMs, contractors really evolve themselves in natural refrigerant. And today we're going to have a quick chat, ask her a few questions on how the event's been so far. So Danielle, how you doing?
Doing really well today.
Awesome. Yeah. This is a big event. You know, we've got hundreds and hundreds of people. Organizing something takes months and months of planning. I know you got a great team. What are some of the things so far that you've been really enjoying about the event?
Yeah, well, we have over 450 people registered for this event. That's majority of that is technicians, and that's what we want to see here. That's why we're here. You know, it does take a lot of planning. It's super rewarding to see it all come together. We get a lot of positive feedback. People love the format. They love being able to do the different classes. Something new we're trying is the hands-on training. So that's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So we're excited to see how that goes. But so far we have over 100 signups for that. Definitely a popular thing to check out.
Yeah, and we're at the Steamfitters UA 449, which is a beautiful place to be doing this training.
It's the best, yeah.
You know, so it's an area where they got rack refrigeration, they got a lot of space, they got all the equipment that technicians really need to learn on, you know, and want to learn on.
They've got ice cream.
they got ice cream.
Everything here.
So what is one of the top takeaways you took? Because we're in day 2 right now. There's a ton of training sessions going on right now with hundreds of technicians in there learning, growing their knowledge. What's like one of the things that you're excited about for today?
Yeah, so I mean, the goal of this event is really to demystify, you know, take out the fear of these new technologies, CO2, propane. And so if we can get, you know, a technician coming from a place where they maybe have little or no experience with those technologies and they walk away feeling comfortable, feeling confident, ready to build on that knowledge, then we've accomplished our goal.
Yeah, no, and I love that. What is some of the challenges you've been seeing out there? Because you're involved with like I said, the end users, the contractors, people that are really invested in the regulations that are coming, you know, in the different states. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've been seeing that maybe the end users are facing?
Yeah, you know, I think from the end user perspective, it's going to be all about the challenge of having to replace equipment in order to be in compliance, not only with regulations, but also with their own internal corporate climate goals.
Yeah.
That's really a big driver that we're seeing, and they're moving faster and farther than they have before. And that puts a lot of strain. All of that burden falls on the technician and the workforce. And so really, I think what we're seeing is a big disconnect between end user goals and where they need to be and the workforce that has to do that work. And so if we can bring those two together, you know, come up with a plan, grow the workforce, invest in the workforce, a lot of retailers are starting to see that that's really the best approach. It's the only approach, really. They have to make that investment if they want to accomplish those goals. Yeah,
and I totally agree with that. And I've talked with lots of end users, and I work with them all the time to try to help understand how they can achieve these different goals. Because there's not only one set, they got regulations, they got environmental impact, they got all these different things that are happening all at once, plus having to maintain and service all their old equipment as well as they continue to advance. So I know there's a big struggle. What is 1 or 2 tips for the end users to really help their teams out? Because now I know this is a lot of higher level stuff. We talk with all the directors and the senior directors, but how can they start to pass some of this down? Maybe some of their store owners or their store managers.
Yeah, I think it's all about preventative maintenance. I think that's a underinvested area, an easy win. Like you said, they're not only thinking about building for the future, they got to maintain all their stores that they have now. And I think investing in that is going to help invest in the workforce, right? It's going to take away from some of those like fire drills and unnecessary. So that eases the burden on the technician workforce. They can focus on other things. They can focus on learning new technologies and getting prepared for that. So I think that's a really easy win that is really overlooked.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, because preventative maintenance is number one key to keeping a good, healthy store running, where I've seen lots of them over the years. Well, let's not let's save that money on preventative maintenance, and just when something happens, we'll just call someone and come and do it. It's not really the right strategy, you know. That preventative maintenance reduces the amount of those service calls, which reduces that bottom line spend where you lose product.
It's a lot of stress on the technicians too. It's the number one complaint we get about being in this industry, being in this career. And so if we can address that, that helps us with recruiting, that helps us retain more technicians, right? Keep their focus where it needs to be.
Okay, yeah, and I love that. Now we talked a little bit about the end users. What about the contractors? What are the contractors starting to see? What are the challenges the contractors are having with now moving to these new technologies like propane, CO2, and all these other low GWP refrigerants?
Yeah, I think there, actually there's a responsibility on the part of the manufacturers and designers of the system. I think what we're seeing now, because we're kind of gone through that very early growth of CO2 and propane system, a big learning curve, right? But there's still some optimization that could be done there. Some simple things about the design that could ease, again, the technician burden of having to service and maintain. They're seeing some of the same issues happen over and over and over that are really design issues. It should be addressed in product design. And that's part of what NASRC's goal is too, is to bring those parties together, figure out what are the top issues that are affecting CO2 systems today, what would ease the burden on the techs, easy wins, right, from a design perspective.
Yeah, no, and that's it. It's like getting all the different parties to work together. Like I always say, so you need the manufacturer in the room, you need the end users, but you also need the contractor in the room. They all put your thinking caps on to get a better understanding of the direction that they can take this new technology, or these new technologies that are actually old technologies just being redesigned and redeveloped. So NSRC just received a grant to help out end users deploy some new technology. You want to talk a little bit about that? How you guys are trying to really help the end user understand what is going on and how they can start to transition into these new technologies?
Yes, so we were awarded a grant in California, the F-gas Reduction Incentive Program. Is a program we're going to be administering on behalf of the California Air Resources Board. It's a $65 million program, all for replacing HFC equipment with natural refrigerant equipment. Now, of course, we want to see other things integrated, workforce development, information sharing. There's a lot of great things that could come from this program. We're really excited to kick it off. We're expecting applications to open in June. And we're right now getting a lot of stakeholder input, making sure we design it right. One of the things we have in mind is that this could be a blueprint for other states, and we've got interest from other states in opening up and funding similar types of programs. So our goal is really that this isn't just a California program, but it becomes a nationwide program and can really help accelerate the adoption of natural refrigerants.
Yeah, and that is awesome. And this is what we need. We need more of those government fundings to help push this along, because in Canada, that's what they did in Quebec. And really, they're in North America, probably the most CO2 systems is probably in Quebec. That's where it started. But it was from the government helping back some of this stuff, an incentive program. And I believe this here program would hopefully be the start of a chain of events of really that government programs to really push it, because refrigeration is not something that governments think about. They go and everybody in the government will go and buy food at a grocery store, but they don't really think and understand, like most people out there, the public don't really understand how refrigeration works. And now as the technology evolves into natural refrigerant, there's more complexities, and there's more regulations. And I think funding like this and helping people understand and get really get it kicked off, I think that's the way it's going to help.
Absolutely. The government can play a really important role there. And that's one of the things when we've been going around talking to states about this program, it's been a really easy sell, because actually, one of the ways they measure the impact of these programs is how many metric tons of CO2 equivalent are removed per dollar invested. Turns out this program is incredibly cost effective. It was one of the pilot that we helped to coordinate $1 million back in 2020. It was the most cost-effective program in CARB's portfolio.
Wow.
So when they're looking at other electrification, electric vehicles, other things that we think of that get that metric ton equivalent down, those numbers are triple, what you get for this program. So it's a big bang for your buck. There's other benefits, workforce investment, food security, energy efficiency, water reduction. There's all kinds of things that we can add on to this program as co-benefits. So it's really attractive and getting a lot of attention from the states.
Yeah,
so.
and that's what we want. We need more attention to the refrigeration industry because, once again, it's one of many, many industries, but it's one that plays the most vital role in the world, from safety of food, safety of people, and I'm really excited about to see how this rolls out. Danielle, any final thoughts for end users or contractors or people who want to be a part of NSARC?
Yeah, get involved. There's all kinds of ways that we need people, right? And that's how this whole thing was built. It was really built through the support of our network, and we wouldn't be here doing this training today if it wasn't for our sponsors, our trainers, right, that are making this all possible. Of course, our wonderful co-host, Steamfitters 449. So everybody can do something. So we appreciate that.
I love it. So go to their website, nsarc.org, check them out to learn more.